The resistor is our first and simplest electrical component. This is a resistor kit. It's a slightly larger one than the ones that you're buying, but has essentially all the same functions. If you open that up, you find bags and bags of components that look a little like this picture across the bottom here. It's got two leads, there's a little bit of ceramic between those two leads, and there's some printed color bars on them. You remember from lecture that the resistor's job is to resist the flow of electricity, to turn some of the potential energy, voltage, into heat. So the current through the device stays the same, because otherwise it would leak out, and we've agreed that's not a good idea. But there's energy lost, and so there must be a voltage difference on either side. So the one thing you want to know about a resistor is what's the resistance measured in ohms. It turns out that color code, those bands on there, tell you that. And this kit has that color code on it, as I'm sure does yours. There's one important thing to note about this color code is the colors, black, brown, red, orange, yellow, decode to tell you what the value of the resistance is. But in engineering, nothing is ever precise. There is no resistor in the world which is exactly 1 kiloohm. That's impossible. Only mathematicians can have 1 kiloohm resistors exactly. So at the end of the color code, there's gold and silver. Those are the tolerance bands. They tell you how precise the value is. You're guaranteed, if you have a gold band, to be within 5% of the nominal value. So if you have a kiloohm resistor, it's going to be between 0.95 and 1.05 kiloohms. That's very typical. A cheaper resistor would be 10% tolerance. It would have a wider range. So you want to know what that range is because your circuit needs to be tolerant to that level of variation. So that's pretty much all there is to know about resistors. You may want to try to memorize this color code. If you look online, there's all sorts of little mnemonics to help you do that. I am colorblind, and I actually find it quite difficult to read those. So I often pick the resistor out of the labeled bag, and then I use my ohmmeter to check and make sure it is what I think it is, and what it corresponds to the bin it came out of.